My name's Julie Ferrario and I'm a fine artist. I started painting when I was inspired by somebody I had seen painting outside. And I love nature and I love seeing what the little moments in nature give us. I love the quiet moments in life. I love to be inspired by the sunshine on the flowers or maybe just a small vignette of nature. I might find an old home, and I've studied the history of that, and I just look at that window that's at the top of this old home and I see the history of what's happened in there. And so I might find those little parts of the house, not the whole thing, but just who was in that house, you know, who looked out that window, and I seem to be drawn to those kinds of subject matter. I love to teach and train, and I love to see kids or adults have that aha moment of like, this is really cool, I didn't know I could do this. And then, so all of that kind of comes together in I like to be an artist, create, but I also like to teach. And there's just a lot of joy in that.
I'm Paula Lucia. I was born and raised in Los Gatos, California, and I'm a big supporter of the art docents. I'm currently living in Los Gatos as a part-time art teacher and then also a part-time painter. My paintings are heavily influenced by geometric abstraction. The goal of my work is to take characteristics of geometric abstraction, which tend to be very simple or graphic or flat, and then infuse them with their opposites. So complex, painterly, or deep, to create what I call these oppositional relationships. So creating this hybridization hopefully helps to extend the experience for the viewer and have these paintings that are not easily digested at one glance. So that would be the goal, is to make this experience where the viewer is experiencing the systematic and precise while also the chaotic and expressionistic. And so that was finding a form that people won't recognize as existing, they won't be like, oh, that's a rose, but it still feels like it has the right perspective and it lives.
This is Roxana Cost, and I'm a local artist. I live in the Santa Cruz Mountains, actually Los Gatos Mountains, I should say. I'm originally from El Salvador. I was born a Spanish speaker. My family migrated early on when I was 9 years old. I'm trained as an architect. I have a bachelor's in architecture and a fine art degree from Cal Poly. And I had the opportunity to do a year abroad in Florence, Italy, to study architecture and fine art. Biology inspires me. Nature inspires me. Organic structure actually inspires me. And I will start out drawing a literal, let's say a shell, for example. One of my pieces here is a shell that's been unified. And then I will pull, in a sense, space from it. And I will pull planes, I will pull walls, I will pull and make it more into an architectural element rather than what it was to begin with. So I will start with the biology or structural biology and end up with something surprising.
My name is Ria Vanden Heuvel and I live in Los Gatos, and I've been involved in art for many, many years. Actually, after I retired, I went back to painting, and I also do a lot of pastels. In my landscapes, well, of course, you know that when you have a dark background and you come in with a definite lighter color, it makes it far more vibrant. I love to do water because it just comes natural to me. I do still lifes, meaning tons of fruit, because I still take classes. My oil paintings, I do still lifes as well. I love it when people purchase my art and that they can look at it on a daily basis and say, hey, this is not so bad. So.
I'm Sarah Reynolds. I'm a Los Gatos-based abstract painter, and I'm also an art docent. I started out right from college. I studied to be a medical textbook illustrator. And although that didn't pan out, I certainly used a lot of that sort of imagery, which now informs my artwork now. I was born and raised in Toronto, Canada, and I went to art school in Toronto, and shortly after graduating from art school, I moved to South America, where again, a lot of the geography, the rocks, the landscapes, all of that sort of further informed my artwork. So a combination of that and a focus definitely on human anatomy, sort of scientific drawings blended together to create what I think is a really unique style, unique to me.
I'm Lisa Marcelli. I'm a Los Gatos-based photographer, and I am on the board of the Los Gatos Art Docents. What I try to do is I use light to try to see where I can reflect light off of an image. So to me, photography is so much about how you capture light and how you play with that to change what your subject would look like. So quite often, it's not immediately that I'll work with them. You'll see some pictures in the exhibit that I took when I was in Paris, and I took those probably two years before I actually processed them. When someone looks at my art and my photography, I want them to be moved. And so I feel like the defining line for photography is how does that piece move you? It can be happy, it can make you think, it could have even sad undertones. But I feel like in order to be, cross the line from art, or from a photo, a capture of a historical event to art, is it really needs to move the person who's looking at it. And that's what I hope my art does, is that somebody looks at it and they want to look again, and then maybe they see something that they didn't see the first time they looked at it.
My name's Alice Lopes. I'm an acrylic-based painter here in Los Gatos. My subject matter is about the ocean, and I like to paint its energy and flow. I've lived here my whole life in California. Once I started going to Santa Cruz with art in mind, I started seeing it was like a whole new world of what to paint in the ocean. So I go to the ocean, I swim, I paddle, I hang out in the kelp beds and the otters and all that stuff, and I just love its energy and its flow. And so that's why I paint about the ocean.
My name is Thuy Lee. I live in Los Gatos, California. I work as a professional visual designer and also a fine art contemporary artist. I specialize in oil and mixed media paintings. My artwork is very dynamic in style, size, material, technique, and design and concepts, depending on my imaginations and on how I want to express on canvas. My favorite style is lyrical abstract because it allows me to use the language of the music and the movement of different dances and express them in terms of visual art. I'm comfortable with this style because of my dance background in ballet, jazz, contemporary, and flamenco. To me, lyrical abstract is the perfect union of dance and design. Listening to the music while painting, I feel like I dance on the canvas with the brush strokes, and then it's helped me to create the soul for the paintings. I enjoy my journey in creating artworks and use my six senses to translate and express my feeling on canvas. It is quite challenging because I need a lot of time to think, to blend, to prepare, to experiment and practice and evaluate. For me, that is a lot of work, but it's great. That's a good challenge and journeys for me.